And Kevin, thank you as well for having me. I appreciate this. Yeah, it's always fun to do these things, and Lansing and Hardy are good partners. So it's always more fun to do it with good people. It seems like so. Um, I've traveled a long ways to be with you here today. I'm Canadian, so it's not snow and icebergs out there right now, but I'm sure any day now again. Actually, it is in a bit of a way. So we had a big hailstorm up in Canada here, up in Calgary recently. So my roofing company that I'm an owner of is flat out and working hard on that stuff. My partners run that. I run SumoQuote. So I get to leisurely be indoors right now, which is good, although I miss the roof some as well. Yeah, I'm going to walk you through a presentation today on how you can design your quotes to really stand out from the competition. And that was the biggest pain that we were trying to solve with our roofing business. We initially developed the prototype for SumoQuote back in 2015, 2016, because we were trying to figure out, hey, we've got this great company in our province in Canada here. We're the largest residential roofing contractor, but we got to compete against everyone. And in Calgary, in our one city, to the best of our research, there was about 1,000 residential roofing contractors. And so it's hard to really set yourself apart, right? Ultimately, we all end up looking the same, sounding the same, talking the same, smelling the same. Like we end up looking very similar to the homeowner. And even though we knew we could give a real premium experience, project management, production, warranty, and post-production, all of the support that we give them, it was really difficult to have the homeowner understand that when they had their checkbook out to decide who was getting their money. And so we developed something to really help us stand out. And I'm going to walk you through some of the key principles of good design within a tool like SumoQuote right now. So I'm going to go here and we'll go walk through this. Like I said, I'm the founder of SumoQuote. My partners and I run it. I'm still an owner of Epic Roofing and Exteriors up in Canada here. In my last 5 years running the residential sales for the residential division there, we sold about $100 million of roofing and siding and gutters and windows, doors, all that stuff, right? So we did quite a bit of work in there, quite a bit of insurance work and retail work. So I've worked on both of those. I did shingle back in the day for a couple of years, so please know that I don't just sit in an office, but I've done everything straight through. Before my sales experience with Epic Roofing, I actually owned and ran a company called Good Society. It was a blue jeans company, a denim line, which is a bit random to go from fashion to construction to technology. But the common thread I like to pull out in there is I don't think there's an industry more brand sensitive than fashion, right? You take a $2 t-shirt, you put a logo on it, suddenly it's worth $50. So you take that, I shift into the sales side of construction, of roofing, and we're in an industry where a lot of guys can look and sound the same. And so we apply a lot of thinking around branding, marketing, and standing out. And we build some technology around that. And then that works so well that we launched that into its own standalone tech company, which has been going incredibly well. So that's a bit on me and who I am and why I'm here presenting today. So yeah. But let's dive into this. Like really, the main concept that we're going to be talking about today is why design even matters. Why does it matter to design your quotes different or to do this a bit differently? And this slide, I think, kind of captures it all, right? It's this whole concept of perception is reality. So you've got these two bottles of soda, right, of 7-Up. You've got the one on the left and the one on the right. And the one on the left, consumers report the usual lemon lime taste. But the one on the right, they report a more lemony taste. Now, of course, it's the exact same soda in both bottles. All they did was tint the one more yellow, right? So the point here being, you can sway a consumer's mind heavily by how you present and that whole concept, right? Perception is reality. This is going to, these are concepts that will not only help you win more work, but win it at higher margins and be able to upsell more product as well. And those are the things we want to help you drive sales. So those are the things that we're going to be focusing on as we go through this stuff. And now here's the proof of this, right? So now the stats on this are old, but the concept is still the same, right? This is the Financial Times Stock Exchange top 100, and they're comparing the top 100 companies to companies focused on design, even if they were smaller companies, but ones more focused on design and more emergent technology, that type of stuff, right? And you can see the red and yellow lines there, the design and the emerging tech of the companies there, far away the returns on your standard companies. So this stuff makes a big, big difference to your valuation, to your sales, to all of that stuff at the end of the day. So before we actually jump into the 5 pieces or the 5 keys that we're going to be talking about today, I want to show you a quick sample just so that you can see what we're talking about and have a frame of reference for this. And at the end of this, I'll show you how fast and easy it is to build something like this. So on this page, by the way, Epic Roofing, that's the company that I'm an owner of. So on this page, we've got the start of our quote. We've got our cover page. And we put the client's house right on this. It personalizes it for them. It makes them excited. It makes them feel like you've spent hours, even though it was minutes, to build a quote for them. And you can already start to differentiate yourself by showing them that you're a elite preferred or that you've got these certifications of why you're better than some contractors, right? The next page here is an introduction page. There's lots of templates you can use. These can be really fast and easy, but you can start to explain to the homeowner the process of the job, how you're going to walk them through it. You make it really easy for them to understand when you go through this. Now, some of the interesting things you can do as well is you can start to weave in marketing pages and different messages that you may want to communicate in your sales process. So this is a page, obviously, that's a hot topic right now, but we include this in our quotes right now so the homeowner knows we have a plan. If you don't show them or talk to them about a plan that you have for this, you leave it up to their imagination and you let their fear run wild and all kinds of stuff. So you just say, hey, we've got a plan to keep you safe and us safe. And this is what we're going to do. And you clearly show them and articulate this. They might not even read this. They just want to see that you have the plan. That's what matters to them, right? We keep going through here. We can insert photos. We help the homeowner understand what's going on with their home. We give them new understanding and insights to the property they own and how we're going to fix that and correct things for them, right? We go through, we can give them color options, all sorts of things to get them excited and engaged with the job. Of course, we give them a quote. So, we outline, the quote, what we're doing, what we're installing. You can include all types of quotes and products and stuff like that in here, no matter what types of items you're selling. You give them your price. When we go to our next page here we can upsell products. So you make it a very natural part of the conversation. When you get here and you're talking to them and you just say, hey, by the way, there's additional upgrades that we could consider here if you wanted to. Why don't I just explain some of those so you've got a full understanding here. Our company, the roofing exteriors company I run, we sell an average about an extra $1,100 to $1,200 per job of upgrades. And so when you think our average job size is $8,500 for a roof, that's a big deal at the end of the year. Like that's a big increase of percentage of revenue at the end of the year. So there's e-signing, there's lots of easy stuff here. After you go through this, you can show them color options. You can talk about product. Lansing can give you great assets and resources of brochures and documents and pages. Hardy's got some incredible ones as well. So you go through this stuff. And of course, you've got your terms and conditions. So this is just sort of a quick show of what a quote can look like that's really going to stand out from the competition. So I'm going to get off of that screen here. And let's jump back into this and start going through some of these keys that we've been talking about. So the first one here, simplicity sells. If it's hard to understand, it's hard to buy. One of the guys on my sales team, this is about 3 years ago, he comes into my office and he says, hey, Ryan, you're going to love this story. This homeowner was going to sign with this other contractor. And he said, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll give you 15 minutes, swing by. So Darren went over there not expecting much, right? Goes in there, sits down. The competitor's quote's sitting right on the table in front of him. So he can see everything with this guy's quote. Darren gives him the quote. He's talking and answering a couple of questions, but 5 minutes go by maybe, and the guy says, actually, you know what? I'm going to go with you guys on this. I mean, look at your quote. It's so much more detailed. Now, the ironic part about this, because Darren could see the competitor's quote, he actually thought the competitor's quote was more detailed. It went into all sorts of industry jargon and all kinds of stuff. But the homeowner started, it was obviously built in Word or Excel. The homeowner starts reading this, they start hitting stuff they don't understand, they glaze over, it's painful and annoying, they get a headache. Like, it's just not something that's easy to digest and consume. And so they check out. And our quote, even though it wasn't quite as detailed, it looked so much more professional. And it had a couple of other details the other one didn't include. Our quote won the job, and it's great. It's a great story to tell for this audience because it was a James Hardy job. It was a $43,000 James Hardy job that we won there, and we've got countless stories like that. So when we talk about this concept of simplicity sells, if you make it hard to understand, it's hard to buy. And a lot of contractors think, no, no, no. I want to make it hard to understand. I want to show them I'm the expert. I want to talk about all this stuff they don't have a clue about so they know they have to trust me. But it's not how the homeowner comprehends that, right? If we look at the left side of our page here, I'm not even sure what this company is selling or how they're positioned in the market entirely, right? Like there's vehicles, there's drones, there's everything. There's navigation on the left, but it's different colors and all sorts of stuff. And then you've got eBay. Simple to understand, clean visually. Right away, it's like, oh, hey, I can sign up to not miss daily deals. Great, right? Like very simple. You've got a search bar that can take you anywhere. This makes it very, very easy to understand and walk through, right? Behavioral economics. There's this concept, right? They talk about mental fatigue for consumers. And so when you've got this image on the left side of the screen that you're seeing, that is so confusing. You squint, you look in, you have to mentally work really, really hard. It's still confusing. It's really, really hard to buy versus the right side. And that's the kind of impact you want to have with your quote and with any of your communication, frankly. But that quote of yours is so critical when they're deciding. Make it easy and simple for them to understand and to buy from you. Point number 2 here, don't tell them, show them, right? So we can go through this and we've all tried to explain things to homeowners, right? Hey, there's a dead spot located behind the chimney on your roof. Yeah, we're going to build a saddle or a cricket and we're going to help correct that. And yeah, dead spots where water pools, like it's confusing sometimes even explaining to contractors to have them visualize it. I mean, you get it, but the homeowner has no clue. So I just want to back up a little bit with that and show you, here's an image. And here we're talking, the brain can figure this image out, right? You can figure out when you look at this, the direction that this is going, what it is. But when we show this to you, you instantly figure it out. And I don't know about you, but when I look at this image, my mouth actually starts to salivate. Like it's a totally different reaction to those two things. Right? Again, here, you can figure this out. This is not rocket science. But it is so much faster to do it this way, and the homeowner gets it. And what they talk about, they've done studies on this, comprehension is 10 times faster when it's visual versus written. So they understand it 10 times faster. And retention, the length of time that they remember it for, is approximately 10 times longer as well. So they can explain it to their spouse later that night or remember it when it's coming up to the time for the project because of how you've presented it to them. So let's go back to this example, right? As a contractor, of us presenting this to the homeowner and explaining to them what's going on here, right? The words are all there. You can read through this, and as a contractor, you can figure this out. But isn't this so much easier? This is actually a job that I sold about 4 years ago in one of our previous storms. So I got the full shake approved on this and siding as well. And again, I love how beautifully this all cues up that we're partnering with Hardy and Lansing on this as well, because what I did with this job is all the money from the shake that we got approved, we went to a class 4 asphalt roof, but we saved a lot there that we upgraded them to hardy on the whole house on this. So, but this just made it really, really easy for the homeowner. I remember standing on the street talking to the homeowner. She would not have had a clue about this. So this just helped her understand and helped us close that deal. I'm going to pause here for a second. Jim, Kevin, you guys feel free to weigh in, bounce in here for a minute, or if there's any quick questions I can touch on. Yeah, anything that you guys want to jump in on at this point right now.
I don't have any questions there. I think that that screen right there just impresses the heck out of me every time. Just the attention to detail that probably gets glossed over whenever I see this. So no, I think it's good. Jim, I don't know if you have any there on your side.
No, I think it's just great to stress the simplicity. Like how easy is it to just put this together and explain to the homeowner that like a homeowner wouldn't generally understand on their own, right? So the things that make sense to us, right? The pile of ingredients that you had for the pizza makes sense to us if we're the chefs, but if we're not the chefs, we don't know what we're making out of it, right? So it's the concept of kind of like putting it together, piecing it together to make it easy for someone else to digest who isn't at the expertise level that we are is such a like crucial part of the sales process. I think it's awesome. But yeah, no question have come through yet.
Cool, awesome. Okay, I will keep going. Okay, point number 3 here. Make the client the hero. So this is one of my favorite ones. Donald Miller. Donald Miller was an author who's transitioned into being a consultant, and especially around branding and marketing and communicating, right? And that's what we're looking to do here at the homeowner. And so he gets into all sorts of stuff, and he really focuses people towards the customer and how the customer understands it. So buy this book. It's a great one. I'm not a representative of StoryBrand or anything like that, but this one's fabulous. So I am going to rip off a bunch of stuff here, right? And one of the things I love is this slide of theirs. And where Donald takes this is he basically says, hey, from the background as an author, there's basically, it's either 6 or 8. I think it's 6 different types of storylines. And every movie and book that's basically ever been written pretty much falls into one of these 6 storylines, right? And that's why in this example here, this is one of these storylines, you can say, whoa, yeah, there's a movie out there called Tommy Boy, and interestingly, this is the same storyline as Star Wars. And I would never connect those 2 movies, Tommy Boy and Star Wars. But when you start going through this and you say, okay, well, there's a character or a hero, doesn't matter if it's Chris Farley or Luke Skywalker, they've got a problem. Doesn't matter if, you know, their dad died and they're suddenly running this company that's on the verge of bankruptcy, or they're an orphan that doesn't understand the powers of the Force and the Empire is threatening everyone, right? Like 2 very different scenarios. They meet a guide, doesn't matter if it's David Spade or Yoda, right? And they go through, the guide gives them a plan, calls them to action, and goes on. Now, the biggest thing to understand with your quotes, with your sales, with your branding, marketing, everything you're doing here is ultimately the homeowner wants to be the hero of the story. Contractors always seem to position themselves as the hero, thinking that they need to come in and rescue them. Contractors, you are the guide. You are the one that comes in with a plan and helps the homeowner be successful in this and executes it with them, right? So when you're putting together this quote, there's all sorts of subtleties that you can do in there. That's why in SumoQuote, we make it easy for you to put the client's house on the cover. Make it the story about them. And then on the next page, in introduction, you're explaining how their project is going to go. And then if you remember to our example, then we were talking about their safety and how we were going through with COVID-19. And then we were explaining photos of their house to help, right? Like it's really all about them as you go through that process. Now, if you can be the expert, the trusted advisor that helps them understand that and has the right plan and is connected with them in the right ways, you're getting that job, right? But I'm going to make this a bit more complex. And this one, I'm going to give this content to you for free. And I mean, I'm really giving it to you for free because I'm just stealing it from StoryBrand. Again, go buy their book or something. They're a great company. But when you start to think about it like this, right? Who's the character here? When you're putting the quote together, The character could be the homeowner, could be the building owner, could be the maintenance director, could be the property manager, could be the insurance adjuster, could be whatever it is, right? Now you've got to figure out what their problem is. And as contractors, we always seem to think they don't know what they're doing with construction and they want a cheap price. It always seems to come down to price and you want to try and avoid selling just on price, obviously. And a lot of the time you've got to understand that's not their problem. They know their shingles need to be replaced. That's not a mystery to them. You telling them, hey, your shingles are old, need to be replaced. Well, yeah, that's why I called you. So it's not about that. And you want to steer it away from price. Their problem might be, their son or daughter's getting married in 3 weeks. Their other contractor disappeared on them. And now they're not going to get this hardy in their house to impress all their relatives in time. It's all about timing. The problem might be its price, but it's financing. It has nothing to do. It doesn't matter if it's 10,000, 8,000, or 5,000. They don't have the money. You need to provide a solution for them. So you need to figure out what that problem is, and then you need to make sure you're weaving content on that into your quote. And you don't have to blow your quote up and start it from scratch. And you should have all your resources there where you're just custom crafting and inserting the pieces that you want to, so you can do it very, very fast still. And now, as a guide, now you demonstrate empathy to them and authority. You show them that you've done this before, right? And you've got a page on that in your quote, right? You give them confidence that you can do it again. You've got testimonials in there from past clients. It's all these things that you do, and then you get them to walk through that plan and call them to action. So this is a very different way of thinking about things, but if you can start focusing your quotes and your whole sales presentation around the client, you will start winning far more. And I'll show you in SumoQuote at the end of this how fast and easy it is to customize. Like, you can build these quotes in minutes, right? So this is not half hours or hours or any of that stuff. This is minutes for you to be able to do this stuff.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Couple things here real quick. So the first question came in was, would you prefer that your guide be David Spade or Yoda?
Well, Yoda didn't have much hair on his head, so I'm going to go with Yoda.
All right, great. Then two comments which I think are good. One's mine, one came in. So mine is I like the fact that you stole this stuff from StoryBrand, just because I think it's important to point out that there's no reason to ever be too proud to steal something that's proven to work, right? If it works for somebody else, it's likely that it's going to work for you in some way, shape, or form. So don't be afraid to steal the stuff that works, right? Just make it your own. And then the other comment was, when you look at that kind of StoryBrand path that you had up there, mm-hmm. and you think about some of the things that data has told us in the last kind of 3 to 5 years, is around how millennials buy, right? So when you think about millennial buyers, it's a pretty interesting cycle that they go through, or interesting way that they go through their purchasing cycle. And it's a bit different than what we'd be used to. So oftentimes if you're dealing with a millennial, they're asking for a lot more work around design or visualization, so they can kind of get some idea of what's going on. And the concept there is that it's they refer to it as a DIY generation. And right, so all of us grew up with, I'm a millennial, obviously. All of us grew up with HGTV and all these do-it-yourself type of shows where, you're watching these professionals go do work, but you feel like you're a part of the work that's being done, right? So you have a say in the design, you have a say in the materials, all those types of things. And I think when you follow this kind of StoryBrand arc here, right, or this path, the homeowner really sees themselves as doing it themselves, despite the fact that they're not doing any work for really making the decisions, right? But they're identifying what the problem is. They're helping solve for that problem by picking the right product solution, design solution, figuring out ways to get through it. And given that all of that's actually been fed to them by taking them through this path the right way, I think you kind of feed into their buying mentality, which is always really interesting. And it also opens a door for you to easily answer some of the questions when it comes to what's becoming more and more common around line item pricing and stuff like that. So I thought that was something interesting to share there.
Yeah, and I like that comment on you you make it easy to answer questions, sort of thing, right? So I had a job. This is about 3 years ago. It was a condo that we were bidding on. So hail had hit, full roof, partial siding, metals, all that stuff. So I put in my quote. It was $237,000, and called the property manager about a week later and said, "Hey, just wanted to see how we came in. Obviously, we'd love to work on this job with you, blah, blah, blah." She said, the regular guy we use, he's awesome. We use him all the time for everything. He came in at 207,000. So she said, "But I really want to work with you guys on this one. So feel free to tweak your numbers if you want to, but either way, I'm going to be pushing for you guys." And I said, "Well, that's great. Now, I do have a question with that, though. I'm the sales manager, so I'm just naturally curious. Why do you want to work with us? Like, you're raving about this other guy. We've done one service call for you one time, and our price is 15% higher. Like, why do you want to work with us on this?" And she said, "Oh, man, I know this shouldn't matter, but holy smokes, that quote you gave me was just awesome. Like, I had a question, I turned the page, there was the answer. I just know I put these two quotes in front of the board, and they're going to be like, well, obviously we should use this one," right? So yeah, to your point of you can build in the stuff that matters, and you can answer questions even before they have them or they get to you with them. We have so many stories of those types of jobs that we've won and where people just directly flat out just commented on the quote in the presentation. And I'll share actually some of the numbers later on, but it was fascinating the impact it had on our business and the increase in sales that we saw.
Yeah, I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, totally. But it's awesome when you own the business too. So I'm going to jump to the next one here. This one, throw the client sweet spot, right? Make it easy to buy. So I love this slide. I'm from Canada. I'm a hockey fan. I mean, I'm a sports fan in general, but this is from Ted Williams' book called The Science of Hitting. And so this goes back to the 1960s. So Ted Williams knew his batting average at every single location a baseball could go through the strike zone. And the interesting part about that is even if it's a strike, he might not swing at it because he's got better odds if it's in a slightly different spot in the strike zone, right? And I love all that stuff. But in this analogy, as the contractor, don't think of yourself as the batter, think of yourself as the pitcher. And if you're throwing out the exact same looking quote every single time, you just tweak a couple of lines or the price, whatever it is, all you're doing is hucking the ball out there, and you have no clue if you're throwing a ball or a strike, low and away, right in their sweet spot. You don't know what you're throwing. You're just hucking that ball out there and hoping for the best, right? So it doesn't take massive amounts of energy to change your quote, to customize it to the things that matter to the homeowner. And the scenario I think about all the time is that homeowner, when you're walking around with them and they talk about or point out their prize rose bushes 3 times in 10 minutes as you're talking to them. Well, if you're the only contractor that mentions that within your quote on the introduction page or whatever, and then you show a photo of that and you say, we're going to double tarp these quotes, and then we're going to water them, and then we're going to hug them, these roses, right? And if you're the only one that mentions what really matters to the client, guess who's winning that job, right? It's not about price, it's what matters to the client. And the fact that you've said, I hear you, I'm listening to what matters to you, and I'm going to make sure that that matters to me on this job. It doesn't have to be massive things, to not just throw a ball and not just throw a strike, but to throw a strike in their sweet spot. You just have to tweak that slightly in a few different ways. So you have to listen. SumoQuote is a great tool, and you can build beautiful quotes and stand out with it, but you still have to be a good salesperson. You still have to listen. This just gives you a way more powerful way to be a better salesperson, right? So it makes a good salesperson great and a great one amazing kind of thing. And here's that kind of thing, right? When you're looking at that, think about, and I'll show you some different marketing pages and how you can use this, but there's really going to be 5, 6 different common things that come up, whether it's, well, tell me about your business and how you're different from everyone else, or why should I trust you? How are you any different? Or financing, or that you can manage a full job if it's an insurance claim or whatever. There's kind of some common things that come up as objections or things you want to talk about. Build some pages around that are quick and easy to do, something that is commented on it, and you can stitch those pages in really easily. So on this page, just know there's a whole load of things that matter to a client, a whole load of things that you can do. On this job, there's going to be some overlap, and you have to be really effective at communicating that, of tweaking your quote to nailing those things and making sure you hit that. And then you can tell stories on those pages and give examples and make it really easy for them to understand. Number 5. Okay, so this one sounds, create new value. I get that one. This one sounds a little funny, right? Just because you're better than terrible doesn't make you good. So it's not to try and be insulting at all, but it's from this side of, in running our roofing company, I know how often we are looking at things and trying to get better, and we only compare ourselves to other contractors. Well, we've got better marketing than these guys, and we give a better follow-up than these guys, and it's, we do it within 24 hours. Everyone else is like 4 days. But the homeowner, to Jim's point before, sorry, going with your formal name there, probably Jim. To Jim's point before, there's a different experience that especially millennials are expecting these days, right? So that experience, if you can create something unique, you're going to stand out. And when you are comparing yourself to others in the industry, think about industries like banking. I honestly can't remember the last time I was in a bank. I just don't ever go there. I use my phone for everything. Why would I go in a bank, right? Grocery shopping. I don't go in a grocery store. I got 3 boys, 6 and under. Are you insane? There's no way I'm going to spend my Saturday afternoon dragging them around a grocery store. Whatever it is, right? I can go online, order groceries, pull up outside the grocery store, and for $3, they pick all the groceries and walk them out to me, and I drive away. I mean, now it's to the point with COVID here where I think it's only $3 that we pay, but they drive them to our house. Like everything is changing so fast around us, but the construction industry has actually been quite slow, especially on the sales side, for creating unique customer experiences. So one of the things that I wanted to just show you there was there's interesting things that you can do to set yourself apart. So what we did with our business, we've started doing project summary reports. So at the end of a job, we'll give a summary of how the job went, and we'll show the clients what we did. So this is one for a service job that we did in this building. So we go through and we say, hey, board members, here's what we did. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we explain the work that we did to them. And then we go through and we show them step by step exactly how we completed those repairs, right? So, here, your dryer vents weren't venting properly, right? Big fire hazard building up behind your siding. Here's how we corrected it for you. And you got to think, this is way above and beyond what most contractors would ever do out there. So show them in detail the stuff that's going on. Make it tell a story, right? Each of these photos are very intentional. This project summary report is 9 photos, but we spent almost 250 hours on this job. We could have shown 200 photos, but you don't want to create a whole bunch of extra work for yourself, and you just want to make sure that each photo tells a story, right? Here was the issue. Here's the damages and how, when it's getting bad, what it can be like. Here's our repairs, right? We give them a warranty certificate, make them all feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. And then we've got a page here that we attach onto every job for condos, right? So Red Dot Restoration, they do everything interior. We own that company as well. Epic does everything exterior. Call us for anything. Anytime we touch a condo, we put this page on. But this is really unique value that nobody else is giving out there, really, and that can help your business stand out like crazy. To give you an idea of the impact of this, our service division, they've grown about 300% since we've started doing this. Last year, I think they did about 2.5 million of service work. And service work is great margins. And if you can set up your department well, you can run it efficiently. There's a lot of money to be made there. So quick reports like this that you piece together just by turning some pages on and off are really powerful for creating unique value for your clients. Now, here's a quick case study on our business, right? So these are our actual numbers. So Epic Roofing, we were trying to diversify away from insurance sales, or we were just, the insurance were sporadic. It could be all over the place. We wanted a stronger foundation. And so we built SumoQuote to increase our retail sales. And it increased our insurance sales and our condo sales and our service sales and all that stuff as well. But these are just the numbers from our retail sales and just from our residential division. So 2016, when we launched this, we were doing about 3.1 million of retail work. In 2018, we're up to 5.1 million, and that's with the same number of leads. It was our closing rate that went up and our average price per job. It wasn't that we suddenly had 1,000 more leads in the system. So we increased our closing rate 64%, from 28% up to 44%. And those are mostly cold leads because we do a lot of digital marketing. So to be hitting 44% consistently was phenomenal for our team. I think it even creeped up a little bit more in 2019 here, but this is the actual impact that it had on our business, which is why we're so excited about it and why we know it can have a big impact on your business there as well. Jim, Kevin, I'm going to jump into a live demo here quick, just so I can show everybody kind of the tool and how it works from the SumoQuote side. Anything you want me to touch on quickly before I jump into that at all there?
No, I think the demo is going to be awesome.
Yep, same.
All right, here we go. So people, feel free to start thinking of questions, please, as we go. And excuse me, I'm showing my other screen here, so I'm going to turn sideways for a chunk of this. But yeah, this is SumoQuote. We log in, and I'm going to create a new project, but I'm actually going to create it from Company Cam, just because we've got a really slick integration with them. So I click on the Company Cam button, I search for a name or an address or whatever I want to, and I find that file I want to link to, and I link that project. So what I've done is I've pulled in the homeowner information and created my project instantly. And here, to create a new report, I'm going to click on this, and I've got all of my photos from Company Cam integrated as well. So on my title page, I can go through this page, and the homeowner information has been pulled in, and I've got my primary image I'm going to fill in, and I've got this button for Company Cam because this project's linked. And I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to click on the one I want and insert it. So it's fast and easy. You grab that image, Company Cam's in the cloud, we're in the cloud, everything's in. I can go and hit this view page button to see what this is going to look like to the client, to the homeowner. And by dumping that image on, I'm done my title page here already. So about 10 seconds to do that, right? Now, the rest of these pages, we turn them on or off as we use them. So if we want to use an introduction page, we select it to turn it on, or if we don't want to do an introduction page, we just turn it off. So I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to view my templates here, and I'm just going to jump in and grab my retail template. And so quickly, I can just change the name. And again, I've done this page already, or I can customize this a bit more to the homeowner. Hey, Jim, enjoy the time at the cottage this weekend. Good luck in the kids' soccer tournament. Just want to give you a few details of what we're going to be bidding on for your job, right? And walk them through the details of this. So really, really fast and easy to grab any kind of template you want in there here. We do have contingency agreement templates and all kinds of stuff. So really powerful things you can do. Inspection, let's grab some photos from Company Cam here again. I'm going to toggle off. So I can pull in the base image, or here where it says include annotated, if I toggle that on, I can pull in my marked up image from Company Cam. So it's actually kind of cool that you can pull in either one. So I'm going to pull in this marked up image, and I'm going to pull in this one, and I'm going to insert these. So we grab our two images, we dump them into SumoQuote, and then if we want to reorder these, we can use this little hamburger icon thing here and just drag and drop and reorder these. We will install ice and water. Maybe that's mice damming issues here. I'm going to hit edit on this photo, and we already pulled up a marked up image from Company Cam. But in this case, I'm going to, I can zoom in and out on this. right? Or I can mark this up as well to show them. So I'm going to drag and drop this around, center this how I want it. I'm going to hit annotate on this, and I'll select red, and I'll select a big old circle here, and we'll show them the area where they were having issues and hit save on this. So it's really simple to dump in photos and mark them up quick. Building this stuff should be really fast for you. The quote details. We've got some cool things that we can do here. This should say siding. So we've got right away our siding quote and being able to build this, and we've got all of our unit prices. We can just start punching in the quantities on this, right? So we start in our quantities of whatever this is. We build our quote quickly in here. Now, let's say they don't just want a siding quote, they want a roofing quote as well. So I'm going to hit the plus here and add a second quote to this. And I'm going to go to my templates here. And here, I'm going to go grab a roofing template and dump that in on that tab. And now I can start punching in my quantities on this one as well. So once you've got these templates built, this is really fast and easy to be going through stuff and customizing this. There's lots of interesting things you can do here where I hit add item. I can add another item in here. Maybe this is going to be a skylight on their roof. I start typing skylight, I grab my price list, curb mount 4x4, perfect. So I hit that one, my unit price goes in, and I just change the quantity on this. So, you know, here's where you can do your siding quote, your roofing quote. You could do a window quote or a door quote as well. You could do a good, better, best for roofing or siding, whatever you want. There's a lot of interesting ways you can lay out your quote here to give the homeowners options. And to Jim's point, that's HGTV experience. Let them pick the best fit for them as they're going through, right? Authorization page, same kind of thing. I'm going to view my templates here and dump in my roofing siding at the bottom here, right? So I've preloaded all of this stuff, product selections, you know, my hardy wall color, trim color, my roof color. You can fill this stuff in ahead of time for them if you want. We can add additional signers here if we want to as well. So for the e-signing that we do, so you've got a lot of options that are really easy to navigate and go through as you do all this stuff. I'm going to turn on my terms and conditions page, and this page, I'm going to require the customers to acknowledge this page. So I want them when they're signing to say that they have read and agreed to the content on this page. So I've got this toggled on. I'll show you how that works after. And here I'm going to jump to the custom pages. So this is one of my favorite parts. And Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys will actually, with Lansing, like this is unique. I've not heard this from anyone else. You guys will actually help build custom pages, marketing pages for your contractors. How does that work?
Correct. Yes. So with our in-house marketing, Lansing Marketing Services, we can take any literature piece from any manufacturer. We can drop logos of any of our customers on there. I know they're, preloading all this stuff into your system. It's very easy. We can just help make it look a little bit better and different, so that if somebody is, let's say they're selling James Hardy, right? We can, but if people are walking in with the same piece of literature, we can actually customize any one of those with their information on it. And to be done digitally, we don't charge them anything because we don't mark anything up on our stuff. Whatever a hard cost is what they pay for. And if it's digital, there's no cost.
Yeah, that's crazy. I haven't heard that from anyone else. So that's a big deal that people should take advantage of with you guys for sure.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, that's all we ask for in return is that they buy from us. So that's where we make our money, is when they're buying from us. So
that seems reasonable. That seems reasonable. So, and that's honestly in SumoQuote, that's one of the things that I don't see enough contractors doing, is really building out their resources here. It doesn't need to be intimidating. Once you build a few of these things, and especially if you've got Lansing helping you, this is powerful, right? So here's where you can go through and talk about your referral program. Here's this condo services one that I was talking about. Here's this COVID one. I've got one on test certifications and testimonials. So maybe I'm going to grab this certifications and testimonials one, and I want to talk to them. So I clicked on it, and now I go up here and I'm going to just click and drag and drop this up where I want this to be in my presentation. And I'm going to add another custom page, and I'm going to add my Hardy colors here and put that on here. And yeah, I mean, basically I'm done. I'm going to go review and share on this. And we've built a full quote in, yeah, I mean, that felt slow to me, and it was probably 8, 9, 10 minutes. So you can build something very, very custom, very, very fast for homeowners. That's very easy to do. So I'm going to go send for signing on this. And I just want you guys to see how easy the e-signing part of this is as well. So naturally, we've got templates here because I'm just naturally lazy. So we've built in more templates for signing, and you can put your email signature and stuff. So I send this for signing, and what it's going to do is it's going to send it to the client, and it's going to CC you, the salesperson, on it. So I'm going to bounce into my Gmail here as the client, and we'll see if this hits. It's always a race whether it gets to me. There we go. So as the client, I see Epic Roofing Exteriors sent me a quote. So I'm going to click on that, right? So you've received a quote from Ryan with Epic Roofing Exteriors. To review and sign the quote, click here. Questions, contact Ryan by replying to this email. So here, it goes to the homeowner, but it CCs the salesperson. And if the homeowner replies to this email, it's going to reply back to the salesperson. So, and then when you go down here, here's our custom email with our signature that we've written to the client and everything. So everything's in there. The homeowner clicks on the PDF attached. They can view the presentation and the quote and all the details in it. And then when they want to sign, to review and sign quote, so they click this, it automatically opens a new tab in their browser. When that opens, your branding is going to be at the top of that. So your branding appears here, the client's information is here, and then they just go through and they select the package they want. So in this case, siding, definitely. Roofing, yeah, let's do that as well, right? Upgrades, let's get some hardy panel on there. That'll make it look nice. We're going to add some insulation board, maybe some high profile ridge cap, right? We go through here, we can fill this in. So they can fill in all of this information. They can even, and here is the summary of the costs of everything above, so they see this. They can even make notes to you next in here. And then really simple, save and sign. So they hit save and sign, right? Type in their name, Jim. So he's in here. If you were on an iPad, you'd hit this button and you'd get them to sign right with their finger on your iPad. And here's this where they have to acknowledge this page, right? So I've read and agreed to the content in terms and conditions, yes. They confirm they're entering into a legally binding agreement, yes. And now they can hit sign quote.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
If you scroll up a little bit, there was a question on, you were showing the panel and a couple other things there. Question was, so seeing these things and seeing line item costs is good. Is there a way to show the product, to put a picture of the product in there or the design so the homeowner knows what they're selecting to add?
So they would just have to do that in their presentation here, right? So that's where they would turn on that page. Like if I go down to, oftentimes I won't just include colors here, but you guys have a great page showing product for plank or shingle, straight edge, staggered, whatever it is. So I would just include one of those pages quickly as well. So that's how I would do that.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, this has been signed. I'm going to go back to my email here, you know, and again, here. So both parties got a copy of the signed contract, right? So we click on this. Here's the total value of the contract, went to the homeowner, CC'd the salesperson, and here's a copy of that signed contract. So both parties automatically get this. When we go to that authorization page, we can see what the homeowner selected, their upgrades, product selections, digital signature. When we go to the terms and conditions page, the initials go on the bottom because we required them to acknowledge that page. So yeah, I mean, this can be done really easily in person or by emailing it. If you were doing it in person, rather than hitting send for signing, you would just hit sign now. And when you hit that, it's going to open that. You would present here to them. And when they're ready to sign, after you've talked upgrades and everything, you hit sign now, and it just jumps on your iPad straight to that tab where they can sign and they can check off everything with their finger and sign with their finger and do all that stuff. So yeah, that's how all of that stuff works. So there's a cool sales dashboard and some other things, but I want to make sure we've got a few minutes for questions here. Is there any questions that people have that I can answer for them today?
So your favorite question, of course, came through, which is on cost and setup. But before we get to that one, there was another question on, you had shown something that you put in front of the condo association. So post sale, you gave a document. Is that included in SumoQuote? And if so, is there a place in there to include a link or guide to generate a review from a homeowner?
So the project summary report we're talking about?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, that's what it sounds like. So we do preload a bunch of content into SumoQuote for you. So we give you a whole bunch of templates in there so that, and then you can tweak those to make it faster and easier for setup. So, and then we actually have somebody employed fully just to help contractors set up their account and onboarding and answer questions and all that. I'm going to hit create new report here. So if I was doing that project summary report, I'd call it here a project summary report, and I'd put in the photo of the building. I'd go to the introduction page and I'd have a template, and I have a project summary report template, and I'd change the name. I might have to tweak this depending on the job. I'd go to the inspection page. I would retitle this, project photos, and I would start putting in the photos from the job. It's not a quote, so I wouldn't put in these pages. I would turn on my warranty page now, and I would say that this is applicable starting today, right? So I'd put my date on that. And then I would add a custom page. And here is where I've got this condo services one that I select, that I just have saved in the system. So the outline, the structure, the bones of this project summary report, again, like I set up the general structure of it in about a minute or less. It really is just kind of putting in photos and maybe a couple of lines on the repairs you did. And if it's a small repairs, this can even be just generic, right? Just, hey, thanks for working with us. We want to give you a warranty certificate and show you how our repairs went. If you have any questions, please reach out. Like, you can keep it really generic if you want to on this. So yeah, it's just, and again, this could be a contingency agreement, which we have templates for as well. This could be an inspection report. This could be a maintenance report. There's a lot of different types of reports you can build by toggling on different pages and creating your template structured for those things.
Awesome, thank you. And so they could create their own template then that gives a guide to the review portions. They could just put a link in, hey, put your review in here for guild quality or here for customer lobby or Google or Yelp or whatever. Cool.
Yeah, so they can do all that stuff. We're happy to help with that. We obviously are aware of a lot of best practices out there of how SumoQuote can be used. So we're happy to try and give you as many tips as we can. Pricing, we got to talk about pricing. We put it right on our website. I know a lot of companies don't. It's right on our website, SumoQuote.com. Single user, unlimited reports, $59 a month. For up to 5 users, and here's where you get e-signing, dashboard, sales dashboard analytics, callback reminders, invoicing, a whole bunch of stuff for $149 a month, and then up to 15 users for $289 a month. So if you want a bit of a discount here as well, annual pricing, if I check this off, this goes down to $129 a month, but times 12, and we collect that up front. So yeah, you would get all 5 users just for your monthly price on this. And I mean, this is something that we typically don't get pushback on price hardly ever, just because we see an increase in sales, which offsets any cost really, really fast. So yeah, no, that's our pricing. We're happy to talk about any of that stuff with you guys for sure.
And is the e-signing, is there a cost per signature, like a DocuSign, or is that all inclusive here?
Nope, all inclusive, fully built in on this tier. So as many signatures as you want on that tier.
Awesome. I have no other question that came through on my end. Kevin, any questions that you got?
No, I just, the length of time, I think want to reiterate too, that there's so much stuff that you can put into this. And so what would you say the average time would be for someone to build their stuff into there? I mean, is that, you have somebody dedicated, isn't that what you said? Or have you said that? Is there somebody dedicated that they can work directly with, right, on their account?
Yeah, so you can book time with somebody from our team to help you set it up.
Mhm.
And we preload a bunch of templates in there. The branding is simple, fast, easy. You go to configuration, you go to branding, you drag and drop your logo in here, colors, click on it. You know, it's scroll through this thing. If you know your hex code or your RGB, just punch it in. But you can set up, what template you want, your branding. It literally takes about 2 or 3 minutes. So, and then you just hit save changes, right? So, it just depends on how exhaustive you want to be. That price list that I showed you, you'd have to build out your price list in an Excel spreadsheet, and then you just drag and drop that Excel spreadsheet in. Um, Marketing pages, you can work with Kevin and his team. You can build your own. You can delay on that and do that later. Like you can get up and running with SumoQuote really quickly within a day, 2 days kind of thing, like just in some real simple stuff. And really, I mean, I could have you up and running in an hour. It's not hard to do that, but it depends on your sales process and how you want to use SumoQuote. And you can customize a ton of stuff in here, but that takes a bit of time as you go through it. So it just depends on how any contractor wants to set it up for themselves.
Sure. No, I think it's impressive because as I travel around, we talk to thousands of our customers and we work with a lot of different ones on their marketing. It's the questions I always ask is how are you, what is the image you're leaving, behind you, right? Because someone's going to come in before you and someone's going to come in after you, unless it's a referral and your close rate's really good on referrals or existing customer that you've done something for, right? A very, very high close rate. But beyond that, if you're just trying to get an opportunity to sell somebody on what your services are, and that's really what you're doing, right? On your company and what you can do for them. What are you leaving behind? What's that quote look like? And that's such a differentiator. One thing we try to help people with. So this is hugely impressive. With the amount of detail. I'm a homeowner, you know what I mean? And so I'm a consumer. I like to see I like transparency. I like to see what I'm getting. And I want somebody to do it on my level, right? I don't want to be talked over. So.
Yeah, and I mean, a quick sneak peek for people out there. We haven't talked or shown anything about this. There's not really many that know in the industry yet, but for your audience here, we're building a client portal, and that's really going to be focused around managing communication with the homeowner. So they can go in there, they can see quotes in there, they can sign quotes in there. You can have all of your communication notes, photos, videos, everything. Like we're going to do a really cool marketing landing page typing thing in there, so your company can highlight who you are, how you're different, put videos in and stuff. And we're basically going to integrate with Zoom in there. So you can
Awesome.
actually run digital sales meetings directly through the portal, and they can have all their documents and brochures and everything at their fingertips. It's really cool. It should be live in about a month now, so watch out for that as well.
We're in a virtual world, right?
We are. You should be able to run sales from anywhere. So, and really to have all the more sales tools at your fingertips than you've ever had before. So that's our focus. We want to focus on helping the contractor create a really unique customer experience and making your life faster, easier, better, and closing more and helping you stand out in the marketplace there.
Awesome stuff. Just to reiterate that point, and I know we're 2 minutes over time, so we'll close out of this, but as I know Ryan shared his own personal sales growth numbers after implementing this, I think that was really powerful. The other powerful thing I'll share is there are contractors out there who have SumoQuote and ask that they are the only one in their market to be able to use it because they know the potential impact that it has on their business, right? So something really cool that Ryan's taking you through and showing you today. Ryan, thank you very much for your time and for sharing this with all of our customers here.
Yeah, Jim and Kevin, really appreciate it. Great to connect with you guys. I had fun.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody attending. Hope you got some good information from this. And as always, Jim, thank you. Ryan, great job. Thank you for your partnership. And we look forward to working furthermore and helping our customers out further. So really appreciate your job, what you've done, and SumoQuote looks to be an awesome platform. So excited to help promote that as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just put my email address in the chat. So anybody that wants to reach out, ryan@sumoquote.com, or you can reach out to our general inbox, hello@sumoquote.com. Happy to help. We're here to serve.
Perfect.
Everybody have a great day. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone.